I am going to do a roster recap, just part 1 of 3. This will be going over for the next 3 days. I'm doing 4 teams today, as I mentioned at the preset of this show, or however you say that term, onset maybe. And then we'll do 5 and 5 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to now talk about the Vancouver Warriors, because obviously they're the ones who added a bunch and really kept a lot. They did bring back Marcus Clarich and Keegan Ball and Christian Del Bianco, and even, I believe, a player that's still, at this point, under the radar is Peyton Cormier. Remember, Peyton Cormier, I mean, he wasn't known as the CJ Kirst of the world. Obviously, he didn't have a bunch of brothers playing lacrosse, nor was he very box experienced. But Peyton Cormier is still on Vancouver's roster. And we'll see how many times he cracks the lineup this season. But I am looking forward to seeing the opportunities that he is given, or if he shows something to where he can become a trade asset in the future. God forbid if Vancouver gets any better. But I think Peyton Cormier is a story to look out for because he still was electric in college, and that absolutely matters. I think he played at University of Virginia. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry to Cavaliers and wherever he did play. I'm pretty sure it was Virginia, though. But Vancouver did not just retain their stars. They brought in 3 juggernauts. Can I raise you Shane Simpson, Del Bianco's transition buddy? Every time Del Bianco in Calgary was looking for an outlet, Shane Simpson, one of the best transition guys in the National Lacrosse League, brought him in. Curtis Dixon, is he good? Well, he might be getting old, but yes, he's still very good at playing lacrosse. In fact, just last year, Curtis Dixon led the Calgary Roughnecks in both points and goals with 48 goals and 108 points. And as good as Curtis Dixon might be, like I said, he's getting a little bit on the back nine. He's 37. Well, how about the other guy? Can I raise you Jesse King, who's still only 33? Jesse King, last season alone in Calgary, was, second on the team in points and 4th in goals. He had 30 goals with 106 points. Unbelievable stuff there. I mean, again, the key additions, Curtis Dixon, Jesse King, Shane Simpson. Obviously, you can see why they might be the favorites. I think Buffalo, I get it. I've said it, though, and I haven't made my championship prediction yet, but I will say Vancouver's got one of those stupid-looking rosters where in 20 years, we're going to say, wow, how on earth was that possible? But we're still in the 60s, 70s NBA. We're going to be fine. Let's get to the Ottawa Black Bears now. Actually, we'll do them last. And there's a reason for that. So let's do the Rochester Knighthawks. Now, Rochester, not much to flex. They did bring in Zed Williams, but I'm pretty sure Zed Williams played for them last year as well. I should have looked that up before the show. Zed was still hurt. But Zed Williams is going to be on the roster. He's a bruiser. He's a guy that is going to attack the nets and make goalies uncomfortable, and especially without a puppy guarding rule, oh my, you may want to watch out for Zed around the nets. But, yeah, Zed's a big one. Brad McCulley, who already has a fight in training camp / preseason, wow, that's awesome. He took out I forgot what the guy's name was. Let me get to the Twitter real quick. He took out a guy named Justin Morgan. I apologize for not knowing Justin Morgan's backstory, but so far that's the extent of my knowledge on him, is he got wiped out and got literally sat down by Brad McCulley, who Spencer, I believe Conley, of Nighthawks Network, who's very prominent on Instagram. That's a great page to follow, by the way. If you're a Rochester fan especially, Spencer Conley said that's why we need him, and that was the big part of that game. Because I think Rochester ended up losing that game anyways. But excellent stuff from Brad McCulley, because I've said it. Oh, I'm sorry. This show is live. I've said it for a about a year or two, probably over a year, that Rochester is a little bit soft. They can be pushed around sometimes. And a guy like Brad McCauley, when you play Buffalo and Rochester this year, I'm interested to see if McCauley can kind of set the tone, if you know what I'm saying, especially if the game's getting out of hand. Hopefully it's not, but if it is. Yeah, so next up, let's do Las Vegas. I know we're kind of throwing on Vancouver and Las Vegas pretty quickly. It's fine, because Vegas not only so we gotta get to the Jack Hanna part, because obviously Jack Hanna, I would be remiss if I did not mention his name first. He is the key to this team, in my opinion. Their goalie situation is not solidified. It is between Landon Kells, Justin Genny, who were there last year. They brought in some hotshot rookie, Caleb Kahn, who last time we checked with Frick and others was still dominating the beginning of training camp at least. I'm not sure how he played in week one, in this past weekend. I believe Cody Jansen, so he said that they beat Oshawa 12-10. I'm curious to see if Caleb Kahn got any action in that game, and if he did, how did he look? Obviously, 12-10 is a win. I don't know if the kid got the play or not. They brought in some guy known as Alex Bouquet, who just goes in there and does his job. I had a lot of fun analyzing Alex Bouquet with the Rush in year one of this show. But aside from the goalies, which obviously is a massive part of this, they brought in Tony Malcolm, very solid defender. They brought in Chris Kluche of the Buffalo Bandits, and if he's not good enough, how about Chase Fraser, who scored a goal? It's on their social media page. I shared it on Daily Dive on both Twitter and Instagram story. Chase Fraser scored a goal, made a nice, nasty move, and scored a goal against that Oshawa team. I didn't check the goalie. I don't know if it was Doug at that point, but it might have been. And if it was, oh boy. But yeah, Chase Fraser's obviously, you hope he takes a giant leap. Anybody heard of Mitch Jones? And again, you hope that Jack Hanna, that can be worked out and he's not traded, because adding in Mitch Jones and Fraser and Kluche and Tony Malcolm and releasing Holden Katoni, by the way, in the process, who I think should be picked up. I haven't seen if he has been, but he should be. I mean, can Calgary use a guy? Just saying. But I do think that Mitch Jones is nice. He's a great player overall, but he is even better if Jack Hanna is also there. So that's an interesting piece of Las Vegas. And unfortunately, it will be a piece of this story until that gets settled one way or another. Let's hope Jack stays in Henderson. If not, oh my. And finally, we'll get to Ottawa. I have said that the Ottawa Black Bears need to add a sidekick to Jeff Teat. I'm not sure if the answer to that is Rob Hellier. I will say that is by far the best Ottawa has done since they've had Jeff Teat, is have that guy. I liked Stephen Keogh. He follows the socials and was an electric scorer, but he was on the back nine like the final hole of his career. A lot of golf references for me recently. But Rob Hellier, last season, I know he led the Seals in points. I was still disappointed. I thought Rob Hellier was going to have a bigger year. I know he had 29 goals and 64 assists. I thought he could have done better than that. This is a player who's 33, has been in the league since 2011, obviously with the Toronto Rock, was with the Dogs for a couple years with Jack Hanna and John Donville, and last year was with the Seals. Now, he did have his most goals in 3 years, but I'm honestly scared. Now, Jeff Teat's a great passer. I'm hoping Rob Hellier can step up more this year, because last year I felt he didn't. I thought he could have scored 35 goals, and that team was Wesley Berger bust, unfortunately. They also added a new head coach and GM, which we knew was inevitable, and Dan McRae.